Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Grab a cold one, crank up the volume, and join the show. Welcome to NBNR Live. And here we go.
It's no block, no rock.
We good?
We are good.
Just in time.
Just in time.
Go Big Red indeed. No block, no rock. Episode 263 coming at you from the Sinovation studio in Omaha, Nebraska. Fellas, before we get into recruiting talk,
Yes, there's a lot to talk about today.
You know, this is good recruiting talk though, because this actually might affect the football team in the present.
right, it's not it's not just recruiting. There's other things going on here.
You want to know what's weird? And sorry to interrupt
No,
you.
please.
It feels like, obviously, we're recording on Wednesday today,
Yes.
not on a Monday. And it feels like, for some reason, every time we delay an episode, this week, totally fair. Mike had a birthday in the family, not his.
I did.
Not
Happy
his.
birthday, Ellie. If you're watching this
Ellie.
years later,
Yeah.
your dad loved you so much that we took off recording on a Monday. So
Which is a big deal, Ellie.
It is.
that is a big this
I
was
know.
my first episode I've ever missed, like that I wasn't on with you guys. You guys have
Right.
never done an episode without me till that. And even in Mexico.
Is that a real stat?
That's a real stat. You guys have never done an episode without me.
Huh.
Yeah, fun fact.
Yeah.
But it feels like when we have these delays, there's always something that develops
It's
in
fine.
that delay.
Yes.
It's kind of weird.
Heavy Brewing, Gretna, Nebraska. This is their Bach,
My Bach.
my Bach.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, my Bach. It's pretty good. We had a few others a few weeks ago. It was like a fancy IPA.
There was a New England IPA. Gosh, I wish I could remember the names. We had the peach sour.
Yeah.
The peach rings.
Yes, it tasted
Yes.
like peach rings.
Yep.
And then I also had a fantastic beer. And the Vienna. It was a Vienna. No, not the Vienna. That's coming soon. Gosh darn.
I know,
It was
I know.
2 weeks ago.
You're
2 weeks.
spoiling things, Connor.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that on the show or the last episode as well.
Yeah. Well, I missed that one. I will say I did go into Heavy Brewing last weekend, and I brought in a friend from Dallas to go try out all the beers, and we had a good time. I mean, we hung out with Jeff, and I'll tell you, every time you go in there, the hospitality is excellent. And while we're on the topic of Heavy Brewing, we want to remind our listeners, we've got 100 people in here right now. We are doing a live show and a watch party at Heavy Brewing this Saturday from 5 to 6 o'clock. So an hour before the game, we are going to help preview the game, get you guys ready to roll, get some fluids going. And it's going to be live at 5 o'clock at Heavy Brewing in Gretna, Nebraska. So come hang out with us, watch the game with us. It's going to be a good time.
Grab some beers, grab some pizzas.
Yeah, they've got excellent pizza, excellent food there. Like I said, the excellent hospitality. Bartenders are great. They have more things than just beer. So, and just craft beer. I mean, they've got espresso martinis on tap. The stuff is endless. It is good stuff. And even if you don't drink alcohol, they have stuff for you as well.
Yeah, our plan is to do the show and just lead right into the game.
Yes.
No downtime.
No downtime.
We're lubing you up for that game. Have you feeling?
I don't like that.
I said what I said, Connor. I'm not taking it back just because you're a awkward little guy.
Okay. Well, that was mean.
Oh, lube.
Awkward. Sure. Little. We don't have to say that.
So,
Huge guy.
Huge.
you're not huge. And look,
I'm jacked. You just don't see it.
speaking of Heavy Brewing. Thank you again. All right, guys, let's get into it, shall we?
Let's get into it.
So this morning, you get the news that Dayton Raiola has decommitted from Nebraska. And I don't even want to like preface this with anything. I just want to ask you, first of all, were you surprised that this came out?
That I seriously had to really? I read this message from in our group chat with all of our dumbasses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, Dayton is gone. So Dayton is not coming to Nebraska. And immediately, like most Husker fans, I'm thinking, well, where there's smoke, there's fire.
So you're dive in,
yeah,
Mike,
okay.
dive in.
I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah.
If Dayton leaving Nebraska, there is going to be other dominoes that come with that. And I think it's very telling 2 weeks before signing day, Dayton, who was coming to Nebraska, who we knew was not going to play next year.
Mhm.
He was not playing next year. He knew he was sitting behind his brother, regardless of Latif. He was going to be sitting next year, probably redshirting. So nothing has changed. And all of a sudden, his brother's out with a broken fibula. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks before signing day, Dayton is not coming to Nebraska. I think the Raiola experience might be over from quarterback to offensive line to everything.
Other quarterback.
I think all of it. I think it's all done.
Really?
I think that this is the beginning of the end for the Raiolas.
Well, okay, let me just address really quick. Mike says that nothing's changed. And I'm going to disagree with you pretty vehemently too. Pretty big factor has been added to this is the Latif game that we saw versus UCLA.
Yeah, right. But it's one
and
game.
And listen, you're absolutely right. It's one game against a bad defense in warm weather and a glorified home game because there was a lot of Husker fans that traveled. But I think you add in that one game, and I think it's thrown a bit of a wrench into things. So that's my opinion. I think that's a big factor is the Latif factor. I think it's bigger than you think it is. But
I think it's big.
No, yeah, it's certainly a factor.
Yeah.
But weirdly enough, I think I have to be the skeptic here. Normally, I'm the one that wants to just like jump at something. No.
he doesn't know the button anyway.
Thank God.
He's new back there. So, hey, Kyle, what's up, buddy?
Normally, I prefer back.
I knew it was a
is.
blue one.
Yeah. Rub that in that I'm colorblind too. Wow. I don't know. I just, again, Mike, like you said, I don't think with a very crowded QB room coming through. I mean, let's say Dayton does come here. Next year, he's sitting behind Dylan and Latif, provided Latif came back. And then the next year, you bring in Trey Taylor. And a lot of these massive recruits that are coming with Taylor, I think Taylor will probably also get a red shirt depending on the situation. I don't know. It was like earth-shattering news for me for like 30 seconds. I saw the tweet and I was like, oh,
that's weird.
All right. Because again, like I never expected when I talked about the progression of this Nebraska QB room, I always said like, if I had my way, it would go from Dylan to TJ to Trey. Dayton was never
right.
It was never one of those steps.
And you're hitting it right on the head. The only reason that Dayton was committed to Nebraska was because his last name was Raiola.
Yeah.
He was not qualified to be a quarterback at Nebraska.
Do you know Dayton's got 3 offers total? Do you know who the other 2 are?
Charlotte and Appalachian State.
Yeah. I mean, and so I'm not going to sit here and dog on Dayton. He's a high schooler. 2 weeks before signing day. I'm not here to trash this kid. But Mike, we talked about it before the show. What was Dayton's completion percentage right now? He had 58% last season and now 61 this season.
I think so overall, Dayton's, if you go look at his high school statistics, I think this year he finished the season with a 63% completion percentage. Last year was in like the mid 50s. And so overall in his high school career, it's 58%. That's Heinrich Harburg territory. He's a 3-star recruit out of Buford, Georgia. I'm just saying, I don't think if his last name was not Raiola, he would not have been the Nebraska quarterback for the 2026 class.
No, he wouldn't.
It's not.
And so, like, again, I think you're crazy if you had Dayton Raiola in your progression of this Nebraska quarterback room. I think you're maybe a little bit naive, or you were really buying into the fact that I think this is another thing that people talk about is, well, you know, he's playing like that in Buford, Georgia. Yeah, Buford, Georgia is a really hard place to play high school football, but there's a key phrase in there. High school football. This is the Big Ten. You think this is any easier? It's significantly harder. He's just, unfortunately, I don't think he was built for the Big Ten. It sucks. I wish him nothing but the best. But Dayton pursuing other options. I heard a rumor that he might pursue baseball.
I don't think that's right.
I don't know that that's
he's
accurate.
not even playing baseball.
I heard a rumor.
No, that's not.
I don't know. I just never. It wasn't super like earth-shattering to me. It was just like, oh, wow.
No, I'm with you.
It's a big development. I don't think we're crazy to say that.
Right. It's a big development from the sense of what does it mean in terms of the Raiola family. We're not looking at this going, oh, 2026 class, whatever. Like, don't really care about that.
I don't see this necessarily impacting Dylan. I really don't.
Disagree.
Well, okay, so
I think the Raiolas are like this. And
well, sure.
I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Dayton is the reason Dylan committed to Nebraska. Dayton loved Nebraska more than Dylan did.
That's right.
Right? And he's the one that's decommitting 2 weeks before signing day. Once again, next year, Dayton was not going to play football at Nebraska. He was going to be behind Dylan and probably behind TJ on paper.
Sure.
Right? So nothing has really changed besides the fact that TJ balled out. And we have comments in the chat that are, hey, like, what happens if TJ lays an egg the next 2 weeks?
That's right.
You know, that is a possibility. And maybe then Dylan sticks around. I think regardless of what happened, even if he didn't get hurt, I think Dylan was going to have to negotiate at the end of the season anyways, because he hasn't been playing like a 5-star quarterback has.
Right. And like your guys' points that it just Dayton's probably not good enough. Right. I mean, it is, and that's why
rude.
And that's why I'm trying to be the Occam's razor, right? The easiest explanation for this without getting too deep into the Raiola family and trying to get into their heads, for God's sake, try to do that. That's why when I heard the news, I'm like, well, it just seems like maybe he's just not good enough. Which, again,
Rule was there on Wednesday, right? So
Rule made the trip to Buford.
He made the trip to Buford on Friday, and by Wednesday, he is no longer a commit for Nebraska.
So do you think Rule let him down easy and said, "Hey, that's what I think." It doesn't sound like that's what you think.
No,
though.
I don't think so.
My initial thought was Rule went to, like, there was probably some discussion with TJ about, maybe what happens in this offseason. And hopefully things went well. This is my tiny little conspiracy. Hopefully things went well, and TJ wants to hang around because he knows, hey, we're going to let you compete for this job. And with that news and knowing that Trey Taylor is coming in, Rule went down to Buford to talk to Dayton in person and was like, hey, man, this is what's going on. Like, you're going to have to compete with guys like TJ Lateef and with Trey Taylor. And I just don't know if I see you fitting that scheme.
But it's Dayton Raiola. He's around the family. His dad, his uncle's on staff. His dad's like Dayton knows all of this. I went to a concert in Lincoln, and Dayton was in the VIP section with the football team, with offensive line, with Dylan, chatting up with the girls and stuff. Dayton has been ingrained in this program already.
No,
he's already doing all the things that football players do. He's just not playing football here yet.
But it might be just
I don't know.
It might just be this honest conversation where it's like, Dayton, I don't see you playing here. And if you want to pursue other opportunities where you think you can really get that playing time, put things on tape, and move into better programs, I totally understand. And Dayton said, you know what? I get it. Like, I probably am not going to beat these guys out. And maybe this isn't the best move for me. I think Nebraska fans are reading far too much into this about Dylan leaving, Donnie getting fired, all this stuff. I think it's just reading too much into it. I think Dayton's just finding a better solution for who he is as a player right now.
The other reason why I'm not quite ready to make the Raiola referendum leap like Mike is. Mike's already
he's out. He's gone.
Mike's Frogger, dude. He's leaping.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Now, hey, and look, hey, I'm not going to totally disagree, but let me try to articulate this. It just seems like if Dylan was already gone, right? In his head, he's moved on from Nebraska, right? It just seems like rash to me, because what if Lateef just falls on his face these next 2 games, and then it's back to, we love Dylan. Right, Dylan is the QB1. He always has been. We never questioned it, even though we have. After UCLA, we were like, they like this Lateef offense. But doesn't that just seem kind of rash to make a decision like that? You have the possibility where Lateef just doesn't play good at all. But then again, Mike, you look at the Raiola family, and it's like, I could see the
Dude,
Raiola family
I'm telling you,
being a little emotional, maybe being
they
a little.
are. How many How many high schools did Dylan commit to? You want to talk about emotional and lack of commitment?
3 and 4 years. Yeah.
I'm just saying it. Maybe it runs in the family.
Well-
and there is a nugget, and so many people have brought it up on radio today.
Okay.
Matt Rule went to the press conference. How many times have we heard Matt Rule talk about Glenn Thomas and his quarterback development? This week, Matt Rule goes to the podium and talks about, and I think Dana did as well. They mentioned Glenn Thomas and his ability to develop quarterbacks at Nebraska. I haven't heard Glenn Thomas's name since the offseason.
Yeah, dude.
And this week, they bring up Glenn Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think maybe the writing's on the wall.
That one, Mike, I will give you is a very interesting
Isn't that
point.
weird?
That is an interesting point, and not one that I had really picked up on. Like, I kept hearing his name, but it didn't click. But I would tell you too that, like, I think with how Dylan Raiola is perceived by the Nebraska fan base, it's been quite some time since we've had a player with this like cult of personality. Like Dylan
He's
Raiola,
a celebrity.
he absolutely is,
Well,
and like a lot of Husker players are. But when we talk about Dylan Raiola, it feels like he's elevated. He's on his own level. As far as, you know, recent players have gone, and we've had fantastic players like Adrian Martinez was fantastic, but didn't feel like he had this level of celebrity like Dylan does. And I think that's another thing that Dylan probably understands is that, and I am not saying he's considering it, but if he were considering it, that he would understand that like this kind of treatment that he's getting in Nebraska does not carry over.
I disagree.
I don't believe it would. Because again, and this is not me dogging Raiola, but Mike, I believe you were the one that said it. He's not playing like a 5-star quarterback right now.
Right.
His transfer stock is still high, but it's not what you would expect out of a guy that came through, played as a 5-star true freshman, and has mostly 2 seasons under his belt.
Let me ask you
Like,
this. To both
I
of you.
just don't think like he's not going to be going to like a Georgia, an Alabama, an Ohio State. Like it's going to be like another mid-major program like Nebraska.
I mean, one, Nebraska's not a mid-major. Two, I think if you want to look at where Dylan could leave, I would look at Adidas schools because we had a comment in the chat that was, what happens to that Adidas deal? Nothing. If he goes to another Adidas school, it doesn't matter.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, guys. Has Dylan Raiola gotten better since he came to Nebraska?
Yes.
Like, has he gotten better from year 1 to year 2, and what did he get better at?
I think he works through his progressions a lot better. Freshman year scared the shit out of me.
Do I think he's gotten better?
Has he gotten better from year 1 to year 2, and what has he gotten better at?
I think he's gotten better. It's hard to say what he's gotten.
What has he got better at? Because he showed flashes all year last year.
Listen, you can look at the analytics, and it doesn't look great.
Go look at PFF QBR. I mean,
listen, I haven't seen them, but I'm venturing to guess that
Below
they
average.
are below like, and not just below. We're not talking like 40%. We're probably in the 30, maybe.
Wait, hold on. Like, so you drop PFF and QBR right away, so I have to assume you have that stat ready.
I saw a graphic today, but
Okay.
he is like, if I'd have to find the chart, but if you looked at a chart and we'll say it's a nice X, right? Here is average. He's below average. So, thanks. You could have just said below. I did say below average, and you asked me about it. I said he's below average.
You gave me the chart with your hands.
Below average.
What's the domain and range? I think a lot of people, if you ask them that question, they will just give you the raw stats of completion percentage, of touchdown to interception ratio. And technically, he has gotten better at that. But I would push back.
What does your eye test tell you? What's different?
My pushback would say, if you watch the games, I don't think you're looking at a quarterback that has made strides to where that's an NFL dude. I don't think you look at Dylan right now and go, that's an NFL quarterback. I don't think you do that right now.
And that's why the Glenn Thomas thing is so important. That's why when I ask you this question is, how have you seen Dylan take huge steps from year 1 to year 2 with tutelage of Glenn Thomas? Has it gotten better? And Matt Rule talked about how good Glenn Thomas is. Maybe Glenn Thomas is only good to quarterbacks that are mobile and not statues in the pocket. Maybe Glenn Thomas only works if the quarterback has protection.
Okay, so
I don't know.
you're throwing this question to us.
Yeah, I'm asking you to.
Okay, now,
and I'm a Dylan guy. I've been anti-Tiefers. Like, no, Dylan's your guy. He's your best player. And I still think that he's the face of your program until proven otherwise. I'm just telling you that I think if his brother, this Raiola family's like this, they hug and call each other every day, and they before and after the games, that's where Dylan goes.
Paulie.
It's that Paulie thing, man.
So I do want to point out really quick, just one thing he said, Mike, on the last episode we talked about, you said anti-Tiefer. I want to just, before the comments go nuts, saying we're anti-Tiefer does not mean we're anti-Latif.
No. I just was anti like the Tiefer crowd that while Dylan was our quarterback, they were like, got to put Latif in. And I'm like, come on now.
We are pro Nebraska football. Whoever's behind center.
Like, yeah.
Foot went in the mouth on, against UCLA. I'll tell you that
For sure.
And I told the story on counseling, but I mean, I watched that game barefooted in a bar in Mexico. It was pretty fun. And guess what? I was cheering as hard as I could for Latif. So if Latif is the guy, give me a 14 jersey. Like, go, I don't care who the quarterback is as long as we win football games.
Okay. So we've made that disclaimer.
Yes.
We love Latif. We love Dylan. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We love Logan Smothers. We love Wrecker 5. We love them all.
Patrick O'Brien.
I only like them when they win.
You know who else I love? Throw God.
I
love me some Harrison Beck. No, stop.
He's been making the rounds on Twitter recently.
You hear his grunts when he throws.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Amazing.
It's not grunts, he's screaming.
So Mike was asking us about, has Dylan improved to where we might view him as a future NFL pick? Now, are you asking us that?
He never used the word NFL pick.
No, I
think that's implied though. Has he made strides to become a
NFL quarterback? No, he's definitely not there yet. And I don't think the Raiolas like that.
Okay, and I was gonna say, is that in Dylan's mind right now where he goes, I don't feel like I've made the necessary strides or improvements, so I need to go somewhere else.
That's why Glenn Thomas is doing such a good job. I love Glenn Thomas. Glenn Thomas is a quarterback developer. He helped me at Baylor. I love Glenn Thomas. That's what Matt Rule said to you this week.
I'm also wondering, like with Glenn Thomas, you talk about, and maybe Latif was this, again, we've only seen him against UCLA recently. Like that's the only sample size we have. And Mike, you said maybe he only works with mobile quarterbacks. But I think there's also something to be said about like Dylan Raiola, 5-star or high 4-star, depending on where you look, coming out of high school. Was he so set in his ways coming out of high school because he was so dominant? Was he so set in his ways that it was hard to kind of develop this a little bit further? Was he just kind of set? Whereas you look at a guy like Latif, where it's like, hey, you're really good, but I need to be able to mold you a little bit further. And maybe he's a little bit more receptive because he didn't have all of this attention coming into his freshman year, coming out of his recruitment. That could be, there could be a little bit of mental aspect there.
TJ Latif was a highly touted recruit as well.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But like, is there some mental aspect where, I mean, Dylan was wanted by every major program in the country.
Yeah.
And not that Latif wasn't wanted by a lot of fantastic programs as well, but was Dylan one of those guys that was like, no, I'm already really good. And it was a little bit harder to develop him further beyond where he already was. I don't know. There are a lot of QBs like that.
Well, I think when he first committed, I think one of the first things that I said was, one of my concerns was he's been so good and so above his peers that he's kind of set in his ways, and any mechanics that aren't sound, he's going to try to get away with it. Right. I've been so good. Exactly. I'm going to throw off my back foot because I'm so used to it. And it's worked for so long that once you have that built into your DNA, and it's like muscle memory. And I'm not saying that's what Dylan's case is.
We're hypothesizing.
Yes, hypothesizing.
Well, there is some comments in the chat that kind of go with this.
Okay.
Jordan and other Brian, they both kind of mention it, but they said, does the person that Dylan trains with in the summer, do they align with what Glenn and Dana teach him at Nebraska? Because obviously Dylan trains with the same guy as Mahomes, right? Are they training him on the same stuff?
Dude, I honestly think that once Dylan came here, you kind of let him do whatever. Because you trust.
I agree.
You trust that he's received all this training throughout his whole life. And he's a 5-star for a reason because he's had all this training leading up to this point. And so I think during the offseason, if Dylan wants to work with Mahomes' quarterback coach, how do you say no to that?
Right.
It's Patrick Mahomes' quarterback coach. Like, you don't say no.
You're right.
If you're Glenn Thomas, let's be real.
You're not Patrick Mahomes' quarterback coach.
Like, let's be real. Glenn Thomas, like, all due respect.
Hey, he went to the Steelers. He developed Kenny Pickett.
Listen.
Dog. Dog.
Yeah. Like, if you're Glenn Thomas, are you pounding your fist on the table and saying, absolutely not, you must listen to me?
No,
Probably not.
but I do agree with, the underlying argument. I guess I don't agree with it, but I could see where it could be valid that, like, if he's being taught 2 different ways, like, are you making any progress in either one? Like, are you just fighting against either philosophy?
Well, maybe that's where the whole question of have we made significant leaps in
that's
progress.
That's what I'm asking you guys.
That's a valid question.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
But here's another thing too. Would you say that Dylan could be better if he had more time to throw the football? Right.
Everybody
goes
would be
into
better.
a Raiola issue, right? Because Donnie's responsible for that. But then also there's been times where Dylan just doesn't throw the ball, right? And I think that's the progression I thought would get better from year 1 to year 2 that we just haven't seen. Even mid-year, I thought it would get better because he's been sacked so many times that they would have things that would be quick hitters and all that stuff. And the reason he got hurt was because he held the ball too long. So now we're sitting here talking about, what's the future of Dylan Raiola at Nebraska because he hasn't progressed in the steps in that skill set of getting rid of the ball when it has to get rid of the ball.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, was it not? I think it was last week. We talked about, like, Dylan's play style. He's a true pro style quarterback. I mean, that style is dying. Like, it's just very difficult. Everybody is getting better. That's not just QBs. It's not just O lines. It's D lines and corners. It's everybody. If you're not a mobile quarterback, it's very hard to play both in the NCAA and especially the NFL now. We gave it like 3 or 4 minutes last week, and we could name like 2 true pro style quarterbacks.
I mean, we didn't really
left.
think about it too deeply,
yeah,
but
Jared Goff. There you go.
We had
Stafford.
We had Stafford and Rodgers.
Goff, Stafford, Rodgers. And Rodgers was mobile as shit early in his career.
Yeah, but like anymore, like pro style quarterbacks are kind of a dying breed.
Yeah.
And it makes it really hard for Dylan. You say, would he be better if he had more time? Every quarterback in the nation would be better.
Yeah, even if you're mobile, you'd be better if you had more time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just difficult. Like it's just not where the league's headed. And I think he has improved. Has he improved to be like an NFL caliber quarterback? No, he's a 4-year quarterback in the NCAA for sure.
Well, okay. When you're a quarterback that is of Dylan's style, you as a team, your margin of error is so much lower.
Yes.
You need your O-line to be damn near elite.
Yeah.
You need to surround yourself with playmakers that can beat man coverage consistently. If you're a quarterback that is of Dylan's style and you're an offensive coordinator, I'm sure there are times where you can get a little frustrated. It's like, shoot, I don't have an elite offensive line. Shoot, like, what are we going to do here? Because the quarterback's not going to really move.
Right.
So just your margin of error is so much smaller with a quarterback of that style that we've seen. What was it? Remind me, please. Was it 9?
Yeah.
9 sacks in a game.
That's insane.
Minnesota's single game record. And they've been playing football a long time.
And they're bad. They're not even a good football team.
They're not even really that good.
They're not a good football team.
And so I'm sure Dana, even though he's had that game in particular was a struggle for him.
Yes.
Calling the game. I'm sure he's sitting back there going, Dylan, with your style, you're making my job a little more difficult and I'm a little frustrated.
Well, like RPO, right? Like the run pass option type thing.
There's no R.
Yeah.
It's a PO.
He's not polling anything.
The POs, PO. They piss me off.
It's just a P.
Fuck, I can't even think of the fucking.
It's just a P.
I don't know if we can blame Satterfield. Okay, so we did have a good comment in the chat from Jim from Minnesota. He said, according to DB, Dom was very clear when Dylan committed that he was very raw and would need a ton of development to learn how to play quarterback. So that brings me back to what I was talking about earlier, though. Does Dom think that Glenn Thomas is developing Dylan the right way? And does he think that they're doing a good enough job? And that's where I think it's so important that Matt Rule is pleading to how good Glenn Thomas is and how good of a job he's doing. And maybe Latif showing you what he did against UCLA is showing us how good Glenn Thomas actually is. But if the teachings aren't
sorry, Mike.
if the teachings aren't translating to if the teachings aren't translating to Dylan as well, then I don't know. You got to put it in the cup.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, put it in the cup.
Pour your beer in your cup.
I have to.
That's
Yes.
why Heavy Brewing gets us their beers. You pour it in the cup so they can see
Yes.
the beer.
Yeah, put it in the cup.
Mike. Start over.
Start over. What are you talking
about?
We're going. Hey, like I said, Matt Rule brought up in the press conference that Glenn Thomas is doing an excellent job.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that on display at UCLA with TJ Latif. But does the Raiola family believe that Glenn Thomas is doing a good job? Do they think that he is progressing and developing at a rate that they think would get him ready for the NFL? And if the answer is no, then I think this is where it goes back to Dayton. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And that's where I think if Dayton is not sticking around to go to Nebraska, his dream school that his dad played at, that he convinced his brother to go play at, I think that there's some real shit there.
Right. If you're Dominic and you think Glenn Thomas is a quarterback whisperer that will lead his sons to the NFL, you are not allowing Dayton to decommit.
Right.
You're saying stick through because Glenn
Thomas is good.
But
right.
Is he? Is Glenn Thomas?
I don't know.
Is he?
Well, and so
and look, this isn't even an anti-Glenn Thomas thing.
It's not.
Is Nebraska? Let's be real here, guys. Let's be real. Vince Ferragamo.
Yeah. When are you going to go to the NFL if you play quarterback in Nebraska?
I mean,
find me one.
That's not a negative thing to say, right? I mean,
I really racked my brain for a second. I was like, well,
Vince and look, Adrian is having a cup of coffee here.
Hey, Adrian took a snap and took a knee. It was pretty cool.
Eric Crouch,
was it a knee?
Eric Crouch very briefly went to the NFL. He was a Ram.
Was he safety?
Yeah, he wasn't playing.
You know what I mean?
But he did go to the NFL.
Jim followed up. He said DB believes that Rule's comments about Glenn Thomas were directed at the Raiolas, which that's what I think. I agree with that.
I just find it very interesting. Dom's comment about Dylan, a 5-star coming out of high school, saying
he didn't play quarterback very long.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
He hasn't played quarterback. Even right now, as a sophomore at the University of Nebraska, Dylan has not been playing the quarterback position his whole life. Like he picked up football late. Then they figured out that he could throw the ball really far.
But you don't get a 5-star.
It's the camps.
That raw.
The camps, man.
So I'll be honest with you. This whole quote about Dylan being raw, I've never heard that.
I haven't either. I'm going based on.
As well. That's just what Jim said, and Jim's usually pretty good.
Okay, yeah. I thought it was coming from you, Mike.
No,
yeah.
Jim in Minnesota. He
said that.
He knows his shit.
And look,
he does.
And not doubting Jim in Minnesota. I'm sure he's got some connections, and he knows his stuff. I've just never heard that quote before. I've never heard a quote from Dominic say Dylan is a raw quarterback that needs a lot of work.
And again, like here,
paraphrasing there.
And like what 5-star is considered raw?
Usually 5-star quarterbacks are turnkey. Usually it's, hey, get the right guys around him. And that's the question. Does Nebraska have the talent around Dylan for him to be successful? I would say no.
Okay. I would say this year, yes.
I would say no. Well, look, Nebraska missed, and this is why the Matt Rule contract extension was so important. Everybody's missing this part. Matt Rule went there and he flexed about Nebraska being a destination and now having all the money to do where the hell he wants, right?
Right.
The amount of recruits Nebraska missed on in the offseason, this offseason, to go get protection for Dylan. Yeah, I know we got Pritchett, but we missed out on the guy from Washington, the tackle from Washington. the tackle from Washington State. The year prior, we missed out on Walter Rouse. We've missed out on the kid that went to Tennessee. We're missing out on important pieces to this offensive line. And you got to have money to do that.
Well, now you're talking about offensive line now,
which is also a Raiola issue.
I feel like you're asking about, is there sufficient talent? You got Key.
Yeah, on the outside, I think it's fine.
Like you've tried to get try to get your playmakers, and they've played pretty damn good this year, I'd say.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Like we're not sitting here like we were with Jamal Banks pre Holgo going, where is he?
Well,
right?
and not to mention, let's also preface this by saying Dylan has played well this year. He played fine this year.
Right.
Do we expect him to do more? Probably.
Of course. Because we're fans and that's what we do.
I also said we're going to be 7-5 this year. So we're right on cue where I thought we'd be. So
that's another interesting kind of avenue, is like, this isn't to say that Dylan has been bad.
He hasn't been bad.
He's been like pretty good. And if you look at the rule tenure, I mean, it's been progress, right?
Yes.
Like technically, it's been progress. We're sitting here 7-3, and I think we're looking at Dylan, and we're fans. We were sold that Dylan is the next coming.
Number one overall quarterback in that class.
And again, this isn't to say like Dylan's been a disappointment necessarily, or that like even if you look off the field, dude has been what we want. Like he's been a classy guy. He's made appearances. He's been the quarterback, just not to the it's difficult because we say it's disappointing, but has it though? Yeah, but technically there's been progress in the program though.
Well, here's a good question that goes with this. Jim just asked, here's my question. What does Dylan do that Latif can't do? And let's I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest.
Well,
Dylan's got a stronger arm. We can put that honestly, on the table.
The best deep ball that's been thrown this year was thrown by TJ Latif against Houston Christian.
Right.
I'm just telling you, best.
I'm the
best
saying,
deep ball.
I'm saying Dylan's got a stronger arm. Like that, I think is kind of. You can just put that one on the table.
Maybe
I'm not.
Maybe not.
I'm not ready to.
I'm not ready to say that.
And this isn't. UCLA. Dylan's played a lot of ball. He's played 20 games.
Yeah.
The deep ball has notoriously
underthrown.
Right. Underthrown, overthrown, whatever.
Well,
just not accurate at all. Like that's been a weakness for him, has it not?
It's tough looking at last season because like I don't want to like ascribe something that I can't really prove. But it felt like, especially we were at the Purdue game last year, and it felt like a lot of those deep balls that he was throwing against Purdue last year were thrown because he's like, I know I can get the PI there. I would like to say he was doing that intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do we think that was intentional?
I would like to say he was.
Right.
I don't know that though. But like, I that's a good question. I mean, off the top of my head, the only thing I can think of was that Dylan probably has better raw arm talent. Like he can get the ball downfield maybe a little bit further.
We still haven't even seen if Latif can throw the ball 80 yards. I don't know. We had two people say, they corrected me and said the best deep ball this year was the Hail Mary that Dylan threw.
Yeah.
But that's literally
Stop it.
That's like playing in your backyard and saying 500.
You're launching into a sea of bodies and hoping for the best.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like Ja'Cory,
thank you.
Yeah, but
he went up and made a play.
If anybody thinks that like when that ball went up, that even Dylan was like, "Oh, fucking nailed it."
Yeah,
wrong.
Come on now.
They call it a Hail Mary for a reason.
Right. It's like
that ball left his arm and he was praying.
1 in 100,000 throw, and you've that's the one.
Well, dude, and like, come on. And again, I think we brought this up. Mike, you were in Mexico.
Oh yes.
I don't like that. Please don't do that.
Like, damn it. This is not a Dylan bashing thing.
It's not.
Because again, I have to bring up the fourth quarter drives against Maryland happened, against Northwestern happened. We were sitting here after those games and saying,
damn, dog.
We have turned a corner, like we've turned a corner as a program.
Yeah.
With Dylan being the head because he was the guy who led those fourth quarter drives.
Right.
right? And so again, what if we're sitting here in a few months and we're going, damn, we didn't know what we had until it was gone. Like, what if we're sitting here doing that?
We could be doing that.
And we're kind of like washing over all the things that Dylan has done well, while also acknowledging you were the promised one that should have led us to the promised land.
And he
but
still
that's
can.
not even, and that's, you know what I mean? It's just, woo.
In my opinion, this is a good problem for Nebraska.
Sure.
No matter what happens with this Raiola saga, it's a good problem for Nebraska. Because if Dylan's your quarterback next year, then that means that you trust this staff, that they made the right evaluation and chose the right quarterback. And Dylan is a good face for your program. And you would think that he's going to get better in year 3. But if TJ's your quarterback next year, that means that this staff developed TJ enough and they have enough confidence in him. And he played well enough at the end of the year, because that means that we probably won 8 or 9 games, that he played well enough to earn the job for next year. And Dylan had to pack his bags. I think it's a win-win if you're a Nebraska fan, in my opinion.
He had to pack his bag.
Do you want to hear a take that I think I'm going to get some hate for?
Yeah. Let's go.
Dylan Raiola has been the promised one. He has.
Okay.
Last year, as a true freshman, he got us to a bowl game. It'd been 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, he made Nebraska a place that people wanted to talk about again and great players wanted to come play at. He has done that. He's been a phenomenal ambassador for not only Nebraska football, but Nebraska sports as a whole. He has done so much for this program. Like, he's done a lot of great things on the field, but he's done so much off the field.
Right.
I think Dylan Raiola has done what we've expected him to do. Sure, it's not a Big Ten championship. It's not a natty, but it is putting Nebraska back in people's faces.
I think Emmett's done that more than Dylan, though, in my opinion.
Well, certainly this year. I mean, Emmett's been fantastic. Nobody, if anyone has a bad word to say about Emmett, give me your address. I'll drive to you. Yeah. But I think Dylan Raiola has been phenomenal in what we've asked him to do and what he's accomplished. And sure, is he an NFL caliber quarterback? Probably not right now. But there's just so much more to it. And again, we talk about him being a celebrity in the state, and there's a good reason for that.
I think a lot of this is kind of it's like feel. If you look at the raw numbers, he's gotten better. The program has
gotten better.
But it just feels like, okay, facts over feelings, whatever. That's not even a thing anymore. But like, if you were to give Dylan truth serum and you asked him, do you think that things have gone how you want them to go? There's just a part of me that feels like he would be hesitant to say yes.
He's not going to say yes because he's a competitor, because he expected more. I mean, what did he say in the offseason? He had high expectations for this team.
That kid's a killer. He wants to compete bare minimum for a Big Ten championship. He's not done. I don't think he's done here. Job's not finished.
But Mike is the one saying that Dylan is done.
Not saying he's done. I'm just saying here, I think that where there's smoke, there's fire. I think that if Dayton is leaving, just given what we know about the Raiolas, we know that family is very close. Dayton is the one that got Dylan to Nebraska. Dom runs the show, but you know what I'm saying? Like why would Dom allow Dayton to decommit from Nebraska if he thought that this was the best place for him?
Because he felt like there was a better opportunity for Dayton. Anywhere that he can get playing time.
He's not going to get playing time at a lot of places. He's a 3-star quarterback, guys.
But he ain't going to be like a 3rd or 4th stringer.
But in this world of you can go pretty much anywhere, and if you're good enough, they will find you and you can leave, right? So if you're Dayton, you can go to Chattanooga or Charlotte
or Appalachian State.
Right. And if you're good enough, they will find you, right? Kurt Signetti will find you.
Yeah, he will.
If you're good enough.
And guess what? And maybe we'll be wrong and Dayton will be just so good. And
I hope we're wrong. I hope the kid has a great career.
And maybe what I'm saying is maybe that's a fan problem where we are always looking for something to nitpick. We're 7-3, but we won against Northwestern, but there's always a little but. And so maybe that's that's my own kind of insecurity shining through. Where like, I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but it's also, I think it's also okay to say like, the Dylan experience has just kind of been, it's been a roller coaster.
It has.
And of course, the stupid national media with the Mahomes shit and
That doesn't make it better.
Getting clowned on for that. And
Do you lend a lot of weight to that?
no, but again, it just kind of, you just throw that little, sprinkle it in there.
I ignore it anymore.
At this point, you have no choice, right?
Well, and so that's,
But then whenever you play a ranked team, you lose. You know, it's just one of those things. I don't know.
my only argument for people that want to, like, I have a bunch of buddies that are Michigan fans or Iowa fans or whatever, and have, little Mahomes over there. And I always point out to them that Nebraska, which, you know, for let's call it 9.5 games, was led by Dylan Raiola, 7-3. The Kansas City Chiefs, led by Mahomes, are 5-5. So that's just big Raiola up there. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to get that one.
So
in there.
let's transition to Penn State. I mean, we're 45 minutes in. I think we beat this to death. Like, in my opinion, this situation is not over anytime soon. I think it's a good problem for Nebraska because we do have options as far as Dylan goes. We've got Trey Taylor coming in 2027, who has been the ringleader for getting excellent recruits to Nebraska right now at this time. And we don't really talk a lot of recruiting because until they sign at Nebraska, we don't really care. You know, that's what it comes down to. Dayton could change his mind tomorrow, and guess what?
He's right back.
Dayton, he's a Husker. Yeah, we don't care. But Penn State, we play 6 o'clock. It's not a whiteout for everybody that's spreading misinformation. They already did their whiteout. They do one whiteout a year against Oregon.
Who said
all kinds of like Penn State accounts and stuff are like, it's a whiteout.
What?
There's going to be so much red in that stadium because tickets are going for $14.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to burn a whiteout on Nebraska?
It's going to be no whiteout.
Before I say this, I should have done the research. Who has Penn State done whiteouts against? But I have a feeling if Penn State ever plays Nebraska, they're never going to do a whiteout because the red's just going to pop that much more.
They did it against Oregon.
Okay.
Early in the year.
And Oregon, that's a long trip for the Duck fans, a lot of Duck fans.
And they won in overtime. And that whiteout lived up to the hype. It was a great game and Penn State lost. So before we talk about Penn State, just want to remind the listeners, we got 255 people in here. We are doing a live watch party at Heavy Brewing in Gretna on Saturday. So if you guys want to come watch the game and listen to more of us talk about the game,
give a shit about our bad Dylan takes and our bad Dayton takes.
Right. You literally can come into Heavy Brewing 5 o'clock on Saturday, hang out with us, enjoy some really good food and some really good beer. That's where we're going to be, though. 5 o'clock live show, and then watch party follows after that at Heavy Brewing in Gretna, Nebraska. So let's talk a little bit Penn State, guys.
Now, Mike's looking at me. I have a very simplistic view of Penn State, of this game.
Yeah.
But I want to throw it over to Connor because in our group message,
he
said he's done a deep dive,
and that's why I want to get to this because we have like 15 minutes left and we haven't even hit any of the deep dive.
How deep? How deep? Are we going to go too deep?
Well, I'm going to try and make it a little bit simpler for you guys.
All right, make it simple. Hey, I'm a caveman. Ooga booga, run the ball, etc.
Okay, so we'll come back to the first one I want to talk about. Let's get right into the Ooga booga, run the ball. Rushing defense has been Nebraska's boogeyman all season.
Yeah,
right?
Bad, the worst.
So Nebraska's rush D in the country right now ranks 91. Not great.
Better than I thought.
Better than I thought.
I thought it was in the hundreds.
Penn State's rush D ranks number 70. But great. We give those numbers, right? But they need a little context on the other side in rushing offense. Penn State's rushing offense ranks number 65, Nebraska's number 90. I do have an asterisk on this stat. And that
it's Dylan's sack yardage.
Well, there is the sack yardage is a part of it. But again, because Latif is a little bit more mobile and can move that ball a little bit better with his feet. So that number is subject to change. The defensive numbers, I don't see a lot of fluctuation in. But that rushing defense and rushing offense ranking lends a Penn State advantage right off the bat. What do you guys see about that? I mean, I would obviously be remiss if I did not talk about the two-headed monster in that backfield and Katrin Allen and Nicholas Singleton, who are at this point averaging 160 yards per game between the two of them.
Yeah. Look, you said
Sweet.
that. You said
Really excited about that, guys.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Dude, they'll stop the run because they've done that all year.
Not.
Well,
What you said Penn State was 65th?
In rush D.
No,
Or rushing
they're
offense.
rushing offense.
Rushing offense number 65 in the country.
All right, 65. And it will be in the top 10 for this game, right? It like whatever the top 10 is.
So
That's what they'll do.
that's the average.
To give you an exact number, so we actually we're not far off of their average rush D played. We're only about 16 spots lower than their average. That's still 16 spots.
Hey, let me ooga booga this. Penn State's rushing offense is currently 65th, right?
Yeah, they're going to jump to the 50.
They will do better than that.
So
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever 65th their average is, go look at what like a top 10 team average is, and then that's what will happen on
Yeah.
Saturday.
So between Allen, Singleton, just those two guys, they average 158.8 per game.
Good for Nebraska.
Yeah. So that's obviously that's the stat I wanted to address first and foremost.
Yeah.
That's really scary. But the good news, again, when we talk about Penn State's rushing D, number 70 in the country, when we look at Nebraska's average rushing, we have about 138 on the ground per game. That's mostly coming from Emmett. And
Who else is it?
yeah,
Who the fuck else?
yeah.
Listen, TJ Lateef had 30 yards against UCLA. And you know what? That is perfectly fine as long as you have the threat.
But our average rushing defense that we've played is pretty darn similar to Penn State. So it's not like that big of a change. They are certainly going to outrush us. But I think you can still factor Emmett having a pretty solid game against this Penn State D-line.
Well, I think if I'm going to be hopeful about this game, it's that regardless of who Penn State was trotting out there, whether it was Aller or old boy, I forget his name. Maybe you guys know.
No.
It's a goofy last name.
Yeah.
Like whoever it was
backup quarterback.
doesn't run very often, right? He's like the Dylan Raiola of their team. So that gives me a little bit of hope where there's one less threat to worry about if we ever find ourselves in a RPO or Grunkmeyer. So that gives me a little bit of hope that we have a slow white guy back there.
He has very similar stats to Dylan Raiola. He has 26 carries for minus 26 yards. So it's a lot of sack yardage.
It's like negative 1 yard per attempt. You got any more?
I have
Shit.
I have a lot. And this one I actually just had to look up on the fly because I actually had kind of written this off, mostly because of Drew Aller with that injury.
Sure.
Penn State's passing offense is 23rd worst in the FBS.
Yeah.
With a Nebraska passing D, that's number 3 in the country.
Sure.
Number 3 in the country. Here's what's also concerning. Penn State's passing D is number 12. So, I mean, Penn State is in the defensive side of things, beating us in pretty much everything.
Sure.
But, you know, on the rushing game, I think is where we're really going to have to kind of lean. And I think most of us kind of figured that with Lateef coming in, not having Raiola back there to what we thought was hopefully just sling the ball around. But their passing offense leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I think going into this game, Nebraska's secondary, their pass defense, despite a D-line that has struggled for the most part to get pressure on the quarterback, our pass defense has been spectacular. Right? And UCLA got some pressure on Nico, hit him, didn't even play the next week because of a concussion that he suffered against us.
And he played with the rest of the game. Weird.
Yeah.
How that happens.
And so let's get some pressure on Grunkmeyer.
Grunkemeyer.
And, again, like our pass defense has proven over a long sample, of a big sample,
against very solid passing offenses, by the way. USC at the time, the number one passing offense in the country. Shut them down.
Right. And got pressure. Yeah.
Well, Mayavo's like what, 13 of 27 that game?
It was bad. That was the worst game of his career.
Trick play.
Yeah, all of his stats came off of one trick play.
Crazy.
Now, see, here is where I find to be, I think, what can be the biggest difference maker in the game is on third downs. Third down conversion percentage in the country. Nebraska is 28th best.
Wow.
Penn State is 40th. That is good for us.
What's our third down defense?
Third down defense. Nebraska is 38.
Really?
Yeah. Penn State is 77.
Wow.
We're in the 30s for that.
Yeah, we are 38.
We get off the field at that much of...
Yeah.
That surprises me.
It really does, because it feels like third downs have been kind of our boogeyman a lot this season.
Well, and also goes back to Tony White, too. It just seems like whenever there was a 3rd and 7, it's like
every time.
Jesus.
Well, and then
can't get off the field.
There's the game. What game was that? Was that Michigan? Where they just death by 1,000 cuts, third down, just the entire drive, 99 yards or whatever. Was
that, and UCLA was like 8 for 14 or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of jumping out of order here. I gotta find. We'll come back to that one last. This one is strength of victories. Strength of victories. So this is not about your strength of schedule.
Right.
It's not looking at the games you haven't played yet. It's the ones you have played and how you performed in those games.
Okay.
Nebraska, number 36.
Okay.
Penn State, number 74. For context, I have this written. For context, Wisconsin has a better rating than Penn State right now. Wisconsin, who is looking at probably firing Luke Fickle.
He's not getting fired.
Season.
Nope,
he's not getting fired. Nope. They already said so.
They had the Washington win, which kind of helped with Wisconsin's rating.
Yeah.
Factor in Penn State hasn't won very many games.
5 games? No, 4.
No, not
3.
4.
4 games. Yeah. They need to win the next 2 to make a bowl game.
Yep, and that's the thing, right? They have to win the next 2 because of course they do.
Of course. Who stands
because we're
up
one
against
of
Nebraska. Yeah.
Yes.
But so an interesting part of that, where Nebraska's strength of victory is much higher than Penn State's. Their FPI. Penn State is at number 20. Nebraska at 30. I told you guys before this that ranking was a little bit closer than you would have expected. And so that factors in offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, and special teams.
Hold on. Penn State is what?
20.
20. And their record is
not good.
4-6 or whatever?
Yes.
And Nebraska's 30?
30.
Bruh. What does that tell you about Penn State? What does that tell you?
They're better than their record.
They're better than their record.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They also played really hard teams, and Nebraska did not play really hard teams.
Yeah, I would agree.
And we lost to all the hard teams we played.
The hard teams. I mean, Michigan's still a hard team.
Yeah.
Northwestern gave them a little scare.
Well, and again, I think Nebraska's strength of victory ranking would be a lot higher. I mean, we lose to Michigan close. We lose to USC close. I mean, that strength of victory skyrockets if you win one of those 2 games, let alone both.
Oh, we didn't.
We didn't.
I mean, you're in the playoff convo.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you are. So I've got 2 last lines here that I want to talk about, and one of them I find to be very big. Penn State, for penalties in a game, is top 10. They are a top 10 most penalized team in the country.
Okay.
They lack discipline.
They rack.
No.
Yep. Rack discipline. What's Nebraska?
I actually didn't even write. It wasn't in the first 2 pages, so I didn't even look at it.
Really?
Yeah, they weren't in the top 60.
Hey, but fuck you, refs.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, we didn't even talk about Nebraska ball. Damn, bro. But
I know.
So
you heard that? You heard that cheer?
Yeah.
Oh, you refs, you suck.
Refs, you suck.
yeah.
Old boy getting thrown out. Now, hold on. But again, like we take that for granted, though. We just go over that. Oh, on to the next stat. No, like we don't get penalized that much. And doesn't that just, there has been progress made.
There has been progress made.
I would also
Dylan,
Thanks, Dylan.
I would also posit something
Dayton.
that Mike pointed out earlier. Penn State's played a lot of really good teams this year.
Yeah.
You know who's good at drawing penalties? Really good teams.
Yeah.
They're going to make you commit those penalties.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to be something like Penn State isn't going to beat themselves. You're going to have to help them. Like, you're going to have to help them commit those penalties. And then my last one that, because I am a degenerate, I did have to look at how does Penn State and Nebraska do against the spread? This spread is really wide. It opened at 9.5. 10.5. Yeah,
10.
which when it opened, in one of my group chats was immediately like, that's free money. That is free money, bet Nebraska. There is, in my opinion, no way that game is over 10.5. Not in a million years. Penn State against the spread this season is 3-7. And I was like, wow, that's dog shit. But again, we look at, they had Drew Aller.
Mhm.
And I remember I got shit for this. When Drew Aller got hurt, I said, that's good for Penn State. I think that team's going to improve.
They haven't improved. They've gotten really bad.
They're looking a bit better than they did with Aller. But I thought it was really interesting that the spread records were much more similar than I expected. Sure. Nebraska against the spread is 4-5-1.
Oh, God.
So this really is anybody's game. I do think the spread has now come down. We checked it just before the episode started. It's now down to 8.5. I do still think Nebraska covers that spread.
Okay.
But that really means 5.5, right?
Well, if it was a home game for Nebraska.
Well,
yeah, if it was a home game.
You always factor in 3 points for the home team. You know my spiel.
And it's senior day.
Yeah.
Could still make a bowl.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. They're playing for that coach that Matt Rule hired when he was a high school coach. Yeah. So there's that.
Oh, yeah, there's storylines. Don't worry. They're going to find the Todd Blackledge, former Nittany Lion. They're going to find storylines. Don't worry. God damn it. And I guess that takes us to scoring predictions.
Yeah, let's do scoring predictions. We'll say, obviously, we didn't talk about Penn State very long, and we're going to do that at Heavy Brewing at 5 o'clock on Saturday. So make sure you guys come into Heavy Brewing, support local, have some really good beer and some good food. There it is. Scoring predictions. Connor, you said they're going to cover, so I want to hear your prediction as well.
So I've gone back and forth on this today. Mm-hmm. I am going to stay honest to my preseason prediction. I did, from what we saw, what we thought Penn State was, I called this a loss in the preseason. I'm going to stay there, but I am going to say it will be Penn State 24, Nebraska 21.
Before the season, we all picked Penn State to win this game. It is true that Penn State their season has not played out the way that they want it to. I think that's safe to say, right?
Very fair.
They have nothing left to play for, right? They have
nothing to lose either.
Their student section, they're off on Turkey Day, right? It's Thanksgiving weekend. They've traveled home. They're not going to go to the game, right? All that talent has suddenly forgotten how to play football, right?
Hey, Jared, who stands up against Nebraska?
Who stands up against Nebraska?
Yeah. What team?
Whoever they play?
Yeah, who stands up against Nebraska?
Whoever the opponent is. Who shows up for every game? Whichever team is not wearing the N. That's the one. Their running game, Katron Allen, he's a good back. Our rush defense, not great. I feel like, so Katron Allen has rushed for 917 yards this year.
Wow.
Okay.
He's got to be leading.
Oh, sure. That's not bad. Whatever. But can't you just see the graphic already? He just crossed
1,000 yards against Nebraska.
He just crossed 1,000 yards on this touchdown, on this 37-yard touchdown run. He's gone over 1,000 yards. Isn't that nice for Katron Allen? This game pisses me off already. Because even though Nebraska is the underdog, it's like, can Nebraska do it? in any other world, Penn State would be ranked, right? And this would be a game full of, it's an NBC night game. But any other year, this would be like, oh, Penn State's in the top 5. But Penn State is going to still be good, man. Oh, give me Penn State 31, Nebraska 23.
So they cover at the moment. Nebraska covers at the moment by half a point.
Nebraska covers at the moment. 31-23. Penn State.
Okay.
Fuck.
So you both predicted losses.
We all predicted losses at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And I think one of the not a mantra, but an agreement that we all made was we should just stick with what we had before. Because we tend to overthink these things.
Right.
And you get more evidence and you kind of should change your mind. But Penn State is still a very good, talented team.
Yeah. Well, while I'm thinking about my scoring prediction, for the 300 people that are in the chat, guys, drop your scoring predictions and I will read them off as well, because there might be some more positivity in your scoring predictions than ours.
Please, God.
And before I say my scoring predictions, I want to remind everybody that we want Nebraska to win more than you do. I promise.
Are people giving a shit?
No, not yet, but I can see it coming. Okay, here's the thing. Penn State, they're not a high-powered offense, and I think Nebraska, they're going to want to run the football a lot. I think it's literally going to be two teams that want to run the ball, that are going to try to control time of possession, and I think it's going to be low scoring. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think Nebraska loses 24-21.
Oh, we're
Yeah, you have the same score.
we would have to share the trophy.
Oh, shit. All right, let me change it then. I think Nebraska loses 28-24.
Okay.
There you go.
And
We've got a couple in the chat here too.
Yeah.
24-27 Nebraska from TJ. Justin says Huskers 31, Penn State 23.
flip my score.
I love that.
Hey, I hope so.
See, and here I am. I'm making the prediction, and I'm talking about Penn State's run game. And I fail to talk about TJ. What kind of game is TJ Lateef going to have, right? We fail to talk about that. I don't know, man.
We don't know.
We don't know.
This is
It's
an
just-
unknown.
Yes. Because if I'm telling you right now, if TJ plays like he did against UCLA, we're going to kick their ass. The offense will move the ball, no problem.
Dana's
And
in his bag.
We are going to kick their ass. 2 weeks to prepare. But until we see TJ do it more than once, and we know UCLA is not very good. Until we see TJ do it more than once, I'm not going to just say, hey, TJ's going to, that's what I should expect every week.
We talked about after TJ Lateef's performance at UCLA. He is the first freshman in the Power Four to have a performance like that.
Right.
Do you know what that is? It is a 1 of 1.
It's an anomaly.
It is an anomaly. It's a 1 of 1 because it's never been done before. Is that repeatable?
Does lightning strike twice though?
Yeah, maybe. But it's very hard to say it's going to happen twice. It's very hard for me to sit here and say, yeah, that's repeatable.
I'm going to tell you right now though, on Saturday, I'm predicting Nebraska to win. I'm just telling you that now.
Yeah, heavy. We will definitely change our predictions.
Oh, yeah. Todd Miller says 26-21 Nebraska, and Mark Johnson says 14-17 Penn State. So we've got a little, we finally got some
variance.
Yeah, we got a little bit of something.
Well, okay, Lateef, sure. Let's put all this pressure on our true freshman quarterback, right?
We did it last year.
No.
We did it last year.
We didn't talk about Emmett.
Are you changing your scoring prediction?
No.
Is Nebraska going to win?
I did talk about Emmett.
Hey, is Nebraska going to win?
Emmett's a good player.
Hey, look me in the eye and say Nebraska's going to win.
Nebraska's going to win.
Let's go.
He didn't look you in the eye.
I know, he looked at Connor.
Hey, Emmett, though, man, we've given flowers to Emmett over and over, and we have admitted we've been wrong. We've been really wrong on him. At least I have. Emmett, I love you. You know what I mean?
Who doesn't?
Solidify your all Big Ten first team status. And hey, Dana, you do your part to allow that to happen too. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's going to be a heavy dose of Emmett.
Ooh,
That's
heavy.
for sure. And if Nebraska, in the bye week, they promoted the crap out of Emmett to get national publicity and Heisman talks and all that stuff. So if you want that to happen,
how do you do it?
Give them the
Emmett has to get the damn ball. We got another prediction: 17-13 Nebraska.
Okay, got a few Nebraska, victories in there. That's respectable, and a few Penn State ones. So we're not just all, chugging the Kool-Aid here. Obviously, you got something you want to say?
This is just before. I don't know if we were getting ready to wrap up.
We are going to wrap up. Yep.
I do have my weekly, or try to be weekly, shout out. That's to Sinovation Omaha. Sinovation Omaha. At Sinovation Omaha, your image is their business. From eye-catching indoor and outdoor signs to clear professional wayfinding solutions, they're going to help you find your brand a way to stand out where it matters the most. Transform your walls like the one we're sitting in front of with stunning wraps, turn vehicles into rolling billboards with custom decals, or add privacy and style with vinyl window graphics. When you partner with Sinovation Omaha, you're not just going to get signage. You're adding curb appeal and creating a lasting first impression for your customers. Again, you guys see the studio every week. We are at the Sinovation studio. All of this stuff around us is because of them. Check out Sinovation Omaha. They do a fantastic job.
If you saw this in person, your jaw would be on the floor.
Damn.
Whoa,
Nah.
look at these guys.
I think these true Husker fans need to get a wall wrapped in their basement just like this.
Absolutely.
And if they want to put MBR sticker in their basement, I won't stop them. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll license that decal for you.
It'd be kind of weird, but no, please do it. Please. Ben Audi, do it. Okay. What do you think? Wrapping this thing up?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think I'm ready for Saturday.
We out of here like Dayton? We out of here?
Oh, God.
We out of here like Dylan, like Mike thinks?
Bye-bye, Dylan.
Kyle didn't hit the portal on us, did he?
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Goodbye, Dylan.
Kyle Byers is Dayton Raiola. He's gone. He gone.
I asked Kyle for a prediction. He didn't give it to me. So he will give it to you on Saturday at Heavy Brewing. 5:00. We will be live from their tap room. And that will go straight into the game at 6, where they will host a watch party. They will have drink specials, all those things. So make sure you guys, if you haven't been to Heavy Brewing, it's freaking awesome.
It's lovely.
So make sure you guys come out and support the pod and just root on Nebraska, man. Like that's what we all want to do. We want to watch them to win a game.
Dude, like beating Penn State would be, I'm not saying it's like you put the head on the, what's that? Like when they should have beat freaking Michigan this year.
Head on
but you
pike?
put the head on the mantelpiece, right? The signature win. That's what this should have been, right? Penn State's kind of,
It still is.
but it's it's still
Every
is, right?
win belongs on the mantle.
I couldn't say it any better myself. NBNRpodcast.com, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. We're everywhere. Google us. I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall,
Mike Delaware.
Connor Cavalack.
Kyle Byers. As always, beat Penn State in GBR.